Hello students, today I am here to discuss NTSC Stage 2 Mathematics part which was held on 16th June 2019. So let's start with question number first. If m equals to n square minus n where n is an integer, then m square minus 2m is divisible by, and the given options are 20, 24, 30 and 16. So let's see how to solve this question. Given m equals to n square minus n, and we need to solve m square minus 2m, m square minus 2m. Now we know that m equals to n square minus n, that is given, so we can substitute m with n square minus n whole square minus 2m, that is 2 into में n square minus n. Now we can take n square common from there. So after taking common n square, we get n minus 1 whole square minus 2 n again common, n minus 1. Now n into में n minus 1, that is common in both the terms. So n multiply n minus 1 is common and we get n into n minus 1 minus 2. Again n into n minus 1, and that is n square minus n minus 2, n into n minus 1, and when we factorize this number, then using middle term splitting method we can write this as n square minus 2n plus n minus 2. So we can write this as n into n minus 1, and n is common, so n into n minus 2 plus 1 common, n minus 2. So finally we get n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 is common, and remaining part is n plus 1. So we can rearrange these terms and can write n minus 2 into n minus 1 into n plus 1 into n plus 1. Now here it is given that n is an integer, so these are 4 consecutive integers. So this is a product of 4 consecutive numbers, and we know that the product of n consecutive numbers is divisible by n factorial. So the product of 4 consecutive numbers will be divisible by 4 factorial. That is 4 factorial is equals to 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that is 24. So this number is divisible by 24, that is option number second is correct answer. Question number second is the value of square root of 97 into 98 into 99 into 100 plus 1. We have to find the value of the given expression. So this is 97 into 98 into 99 into 100 plus 1 whole square root. We have to find this value. So to find this value, let's take 98 as x. Let's take 98 as x. So that number 97 will be x minus 1, and the number 99 will be x plus 1, and 100 will be x plus 2. So rewriting them in terms of x, we get 97 is x minus 1, 98 is x, and 99 is x plus 1, and 100 is x plus 2, and plus 1 whole square root. Now rearranging these terms, x minus 1 multiply by x plus 2 and x multiply by x plus 1 whole square root. Alright, so on multiplying these two terms we get x square plus x minus 2, and on multiplying these two terms we get x square plus x plus 1 whole square root. Now let's take x square plus x as another expression y. Let x square plus x is equals to y. So we can write this as y minus 2 into y plus 1 whole square root. Alright, so this will be y square minus 2y plus 1 whole square root. Now we know that y square minus 2y plus 1 is y minus 1 whole square. So this is written as y minus 1 whole square root, that is y minus 1. So finally on solving this we get y minus 1. And what is y here? Y is x square plus x square plus x and minus 1. And what is x? X is 98. So we have to find the value of 98 square plus 98 minus 1, that is 98 square plus 97. So on solving this we get 9701, that is option number 4 is the correct answer. Next question is, let Px be a polynomial of degree 3 and P of n equals to 1 by n for n equals to 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then the value of P of 5 is, we have to find the value of P of 5, and we have given Pn equals to 1 by n, that is valid for n equals to 1, 2, 3 and 4. So P of 1 will be 1 by 1, that is 1. P of 2 will be 1 by 2. Similarly, P of 3 will be 1 by 3 and P of 4 will be 1 by 4. Now we can rewrite this expression as n into P of n minus 1 equals to 0. Now let's say this expression n into P of n minus 1 as Q of n. So Q of n is n into P of n minus 1. Now when we put n equals to 1, then Q of 1, that will be 1 into P of 1, that is 1, minus 1, that is 0. Similarly, when we put n equals to 2, then Q of 2, that will be 2 into P of 2. P of 2 is 1 by 2. So 2 into 1 by 2 minus 1, again this is 0. Similarly, for n equals to 3, also Q of 3 is 0, and n equals to 4, Q of 4 is 0. So we can say that 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the zeros of this polynomial Qn. 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the zeros of this polynomial Q of n. So we can say that n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 and n minus 4 are the factors of this polynomial Qn. So we can write this polynomial Qn as k into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 into n minus 4. And Q of n is n Pn minus 1. We can write this as n of Pn minus 1, that will be equals to k into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 into n minus 4. Now when we put n equals to 0, so we get 0 into something 0 minus 1, that is minus 1 equals to k into 0 minus 1 minus 1, 0 minus 2 minus 2, then minus 3 and minus 4. So from here we get k equals to, that is 24 minus 1 upon 24. Hence the value of k is minus 1 upon 24. So we can write nPn, n multiplied by P of n minus 1 is equals to minus 1 upon 24, n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 and n minus 4. So we have to find P of 5. So what we will do? We will put n equals to 5. Put n equals to 5. So 5 into P of 5 minus 1 will be equals to minus 1 upon 24. 5 minus 1 is 4. Then 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2 and 5 minus 4 is 1. So 4 into 3 into 2, that is 24. That whole cancel out. That is 5 into P of 5 minus 1 is minus 1. So what we will do, minus 1 and minus 1 cancel out. So P of 5 into P of 5 will be equals to 0. Hence the value of P of 5 is 0. That is option number 1. Option number 1 is the correct answer. Next question is, if alpha and beta are the roots of the equation 3x square minus 5x plus 3 equals to 0, then we have to find the quadratic equation whose roots are alpha square beta and alpha beta square. So first of all, we have given an equation 3x square minus 5x plus 3 equals to 0, and alpha beta are its zeros, alpha and beta are its zeros, and we know that sum of roots alpha plus beta will be minus b by a, that is 5 by 3, and product of roots alpha beta is c upon a, that is 3 by 3, that is 1. So sum of roots alpha plus beta is 5 by 3 and product of roots alpha beta is 1, and we need to find the quadratic equation whose roots are alpha square beta and alpha beta square. We know that a quadratic equation can be written as x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of roots that will be equals to 0. So x square minus sum of roots is alpha square beta plus alpha beta square multiply x plus product of zeros, that is alpha square beta into alpha beta square, that will be equals to 0. So on simplifying this, we get x square minus alpha beta is common and remaining will be alpha plus beta into x plus, and this is written as alpha beta whole cube, that is equals to 0. And here we know the value of alpha plus beta is 5 by 3 and alpha beta is 1. So on substituting values, x square minus alpha beta is 1 into alpha plus beta, that is 5 by 3 into x plus alpha beta whole cube, that is 1 cube, that will be equals to 0. On taking LCM, we can write this as 3x square minus 5x plus 3 equals to 0. So option number first is the right answer. Next question is, in village Madhubani, 8 women and 12 girls can paint a large mural in 10 hours and 6 women and 8 girls can paint it in 14 hours. We need to find the number of hours taken by 7 women and 14 girls. So first of all, we can write 1 hour work of 8 women and 12 girls. 8 women and 12 girls. We know that 8 women and 12 girls can paint the complete mural in 10 hours. So their 1 hour work will be 1 by 10. This is equation number first. And similarly, 6 women and 8 girls. 6 women and 8 girls can paint it in 14 hours. That is, their 1 hour work will be 1 by 14. That is equation number second. These are the linear equation in 2 variables, so we can easily solve them. So on solving equation first and second, we get W equals to 1 by 140 and G equals to 1 by 280. That is, a single woman 1 hour work is 1 by 140. That is, a single woman can complete the work in 140 hours and a single girl can complete the work in 280 hours. And we need to find here the number of hours taken by 7 women and 14 girls. So 1 hour work of 7 women and 14 girls will be 7 into 1 by 140 plus 14 into 1 by 280. That will be equals to 1 by 20 plus 1 by 20, that is 1 by 10. that is 7 women and 14 girls, 1 hour work is 1 by 10. So 7 women and 14 girls will complete the work in 10 hours. So 10 hours is the correct answer, which is option number first. Next question is, if x equals to 3 plus root 5 upon 2 and y equals to x cube, then y satisfied the quadratic equation. So we have to solve this. Y equals to x cube. Y equals to x cube is given, and the value of x is 3 plus root 5 upon 2. 3 plus root 5 upon 2, and y is x cube, so whole cube. So on simplifying, we get y equals to a plus b whole cube is a cube, that is 3 cube 27, plus root 5 cube, that is 5 root 5, plus 3a square b, that is 327 root 5, and 3ab square, that is 45, divided by 2 cube, that is 8. So we get y equals to 27 plus 45, 72, plus 32 root 5 divided by 8. So finally we get 8 9 is 72, so 9 plus 4 root 5, that is y equals to 9 plus 4 root 5, and we have to find the quadratic equation which satisfies this y. So when one root is 9 plus 4 root 5, then other root will be 9 minus 4 root 5, since irrational roots are conjugate to each other. So when one root in quadratic equation y is 9 plus 4 root 5, then other root will be 9 minus 4 root 5. So sum of roots is 9 plus 4 root 5 plus 9 minus 4 root 5, that is 18, and product is 9 plus 4 root 5 multiply by 9 minus 4 root 5, that is a plus b into a minus b form, which is a square minus b square, that is 81 minus 80, so 1. So we get the sum of roots as 18 and product of roots as 1. So finally we get the quadratic equation y square minus sum of roots multiply by x plus product of roots, that will be 0. So y square minus sum of roots is 18. So minus 18 y, this will be y, plus product of roots, that is product is 1. So y square minus 18y plus 1 will be 0. So option number 1 is the correct answer. The next question is of trigonometry, in which it is given that tan square theta equals to 1 minus e square, and we have to find the value of sec theta plus tan cube theta into cosec theta. Alright, so we have given tan square theta, that is equals to 1 minus e square. We know that sec square theta is equals to 1 plus tan square theta. So sec square theta will be equals to 1 plus tan square theta is 1 minus e square, so it is 1 minus e square. Finally we get sec square theta is equals to 2 minus e square, or we can say that sec theta is equals to square root of 2 minus e square. Now we have to find the value of sec theta plus tan cube theta into cosec theta. We have to find the value of sec theta plus tan cube theta into cosec theta. We can write it sec theta as 1 upon cos theta, plus break this tan theta in terms of tan theta into tan square theta, tan theta into tan square theta, and tan theta as sin theta upon cos theta. we write a single tan theta as sin theta upon cos theta, and the remaining is tan square theta multiplied by cosec theta, that is 1 upon sin theta. Now here sin theta cancel out each other and 1 upon cos theta is common, 1 upon cos theta as common, then remaining is 1 plus tan square theta, and 1 upon cos theta is again sec theta, so it is sec theta multiplied by 1 plus 1 minus e square. 1 plus tan square theta is 1 minus e square, and sec theta from this equation is square root of 2 minus e square, so we can write 2 minus e square raised to power 1 by 2 as sec theta multiplied by 2 minus e square, 2 minus e square raised to power 1. So 2 minus e square raised to power 1 by 2 into 2 minus e square raised to power 1. So the powers will be added here, and we get finally as 2 minus e square raised to power 1 by 2 plus 1, that is 3 by 2. So this is the final answer, 2 minus e square raised to power 3 by 2, which is option number 3rd. So option 3rd is the correct answer. Next question is, let the volume of a solid sphere be 288 pi centimeter cube. A horizontal plane cuts the sphere at a distance of 3 cm from the center, so that the ratio of the curved surface areas of the two parts of the sphere is 3:1. The total surface area of the bigger part of the sphere is in centimeter square is. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हम इसका फिगर ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं. Let us suppose this is a sphere. This is a sphere of radius r, and from the center of the sphere a horizontal part is cut down at a distance of 3 cm from the center. So this distance will be 3 cm. Let's say this part is AB, this point is D, this is C. So OB is the radius of the sphere, and the distance OE is 3 cm. Now we have given the volume of the solid sphere is 288 pi. So we know that volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube, and that is 288 pi. So this is 288 pi centimeter cube. On solving this, we get r cube is equals to 288 multiplied by 3 divided by 4, that is 216. So r will be cube root of 216, that is 6. So r is 6 centimeter. So this radius OB is 6 centimeter. Let's say the radius of the flat surface of ACB is K. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem in triangle OBE. So in triangle OBE, we can write K square will be equals to 6 square minus 3 square, that is 27. So K will be square root of 27. Now we have given that the ratio of the curved surface areas of the two parts of the sphere is 3:1. So let's say the surface area of part ADB is x. Let curved surface area of portion ADB is x centimeter square. So the curved surface area of ACB, so curved surface area of portion ACB will be 4 pi r square minus x. 4 pi r square, that is radius of this part is 6 centimeter. So this is 6 square minus curved surface area of upper part, that is x. So we have given this ratio is 3:1. So we can write 4 pi into 36 minus x divided by x is 3:1. So on solving this, we get x equals to 36 pi. So the area of the portion, curved surface area of the portion ADB is 36 pi. Now we have to find the total surface area of portion ACB, bigger part. Total surface area of bigger part. That will be area of curved portion of ACB, that is curved surface area of ACB. Curved surface area of ACB plus area of flat surface of ACB. Area of flat surface of ACB. That will be equals to curved surface area of ACB is 144. And this is this one 144 pi minus x. 144 pi minus x, and x is what? 36 pi plus area of flat surface of ACB. Flat surface of ACB, the radius k is root 27. So it is pi into में root 27 square. So that will be 144 pi minus 36 pi plus 27 pi. So finally we get 135 pi. So the area of the bigger part is, total surface area of the bigger part is 135 pi. That is option number 3 is the right answer. Next question is, a solid metallic cylinder of height 10 cm and diameter 14 cm is melted to make two cones in the proportion of their volumes as 3:4. Keeping the height 10 cm, what would be the percentage increase in the flat surface area? So first of all, we have given the height and diameter of the cylinder, so we can find the volume of the cylinder. So volume of cylinder is that will be pi r square h, pi r square into h. So pi into में radius is, diameter is 14, so radius is 7. So 7 square into height, that is 10. So this is 490 pi centimeter cube. 490 pi centimeter cube. This is the volume of the cylinder. Now taking the radius of the first cone as R1, let's say radius of first cone as R1 and radius of second cone as R2, we get the volume of the first cone. Volume of first cone will be 1/3 pi r1 square h, 1/3 pi r1 square into h. So we can write 1/3 pi r1 square into height. Height of the first cone is 10 centimeter. Because it is given that the cylinder is melted to make two cones in the proportion of their volumes as 3:4. So we can write this volume as 3/7 into 490 pi. So on solving this, we get R1 equals to 3√7 centimeter. Similarly, the volume of the second cone, volume of second cone will be 1/3 pi r2 square into h, where height is again 10 centimeter. So that will be equals to 1/3 pi r2 square into 10, that will be equals to 4/7 into 490 pi. 4/7 into 490 pi. So from here we get the value of R2 as 2√21 centimeter. Now what we have to find? we have to find the percentage increase in the flat surface area. So flat surface area of cylinder, flat surface area of cylinder is 2 pi r square, 2 pi r square, that is radius is 7, that is 98 pi. And flat surface area of cones, flat surface area of cones will be pi r1 square plus pi r2 square. So pi r1 square, that is pi into में 3 root 7 square plus pi into में 2 root 21 square. So from here we get 63 pi, 63 pi plus 84 pi. So finally we get here 147 pi. So this is the flat surface area of two cones. So percentage increase will be 147 pi minus 98 pi divided by 98 pi into 100. So finally we get 49 pi divided by 98 pi multiplied by 100, that is 50%. So there is 50% increase in the flat surface area of the cylinder. So option number 3 is the correct answer. Next question is, each vertical face of a square based vertical pillar of height 3 meter has 7 equal semi-cylindrical surfaces in such a way that its horizontal cross section is as shown in figure. If the radius of each semicircle is 10 cm, then we have to find the volume of the pillar so designed. That is, this radius of a cylindrical shape is 10 cm, so its diameter is 20 cm. So the overall length of the side of the pillar is 140 cm. Similarly, for this cuboid shape, this length will also be 140 cm. Now this design is made of a cuboid plus cylinders. So when we combine any two semi-cylindrical shape, then we get a cylinder. So total there are 14 cylinders. Of radius 10 cm and height 3 meter. So we can write for cylinder radius is 10 cm and height is 3 meter. So we have to convert radius in meter. So r is equals to 10 by 100 meter, that is 1 by 10 meter. Now for cuboid, length is 140 centimeter, that is 140 by 100 meter. Similarly, width is again 140 by 100 meter and the height is 3 meter. And we have to find the volume of this design. So volume of the design is equals to total number of cylinders formed, that is 14, multiply by volume of one cylinder, plus volume of cuboid. So final volume will be 14 into volume of one cylinder, that is pi r square h, pi into r square, radius is 10 by 100 into r square, that is again 10 by 100 into height, that is 3 meter, plus volume of cuboid, that is length into width into height, length 140 by 100 into width 140 by 100 into height, that is 3 meter. So finally we get, on putting the value pi equals to 22 by 7 here, we get this value as 1.32 plus this value as 5.88. So finally we get 7.2 meter cube, that is option number 4 is the correct answer. In the next question, it is given that ABCD is a square of side length 20 centimeter and we need to find the area PQRS, area of square PQRS, which is inside of this square. So here N, O, L and M are the midpoints of the sides of the square. So we can clearly see that triangle ADN is congruent to triangle BAM. We can clearly see AB equals to AD 20 centimeter, DN equals to AM, that is 10 centimeter, and angle D equals to angle A, which is 90 degree. So triangle ADN is congruent to triangle BAM, hence this angle A will be equals to this angle. So let's say this angle is theta, then this angle will also be theta. Now PQRS is a square, so all these angles are 90 degree, and similarly these angles are also 90 degree. Next we can see that triangle AMP is congruent to triangle BLQ. Triangle AMP is congruent to triangle BLQ. Why? Because AM equals to 10 and in this triangle BL equals to 10. Similarly this angle is 90 and in this triangle this angle is 90, and at last this angle is theta and this angle is theta. So by angle side criteria both these triangles are congruent. So let's say area of this triangle AMP is small a. Area of this triangle AMP is small a. Then area of the triangle BLQ will also be small a. Similarly, we can say that area of triangle DNS will also be A and area of triangle COR will also be A. Now, in quadrilateral ANCL, CN is equals to AL and AN is equals to CL. By symmetry, we can see that. So the opposite sides of quadrilateral ANCL are equal, hence we can say that NCLA is a parallelogram or ANCL is a parallelogram. When this is a parallelogram, then SN will be parallel to CR. SN will be parallel to CR. SN is parallel to CR. So we can say that triangle DNS is similar to triangle DCR. We can see that triangle DNS is similar to triangle DCR. Now we know that the ratio of areas of two similar triangles is equal to the square of the ratio of their corresponding sides. So we can write area triangle DNS divided by area triangle DCR, that will be equals to dn upon dc whole square. That will be equals to dn upon dc whole square. That is dn is 10 and the length of dc is 20. So this is 1 by 2 square, that is 1 by 4. So from here we can write that area triangle DCR will be equals to 4 times area triangle DNS. 4 times area triangle DNS. So area triangle DCR is complete. Area triangle DCR is 4 times of area, 4 times of area DNS, that is area DNS is A, that is 4A. So area triangle DCR is 4A. So we can say that the area of SNCR quadrilateral will be 3A. Similarly, this area is A, so this area will also be 3A, and similarly this area will also be 3A and this area is 3A. Now we can find the value of A here, that is area of triangle ADN, area triangle ADN is half into base into height, half into base is 10 into height, that is equals to 20. So this is 100. This is 100 centimeter square, and this 100 centimeter square will be equals to A plus 3A plus A, that is 5A. So we can write 5A equals to 100. So area A equals to 20 centimeter square. That is, we have find the value of A, that is 20 centimeter square. Now area of square ABCD, area square ABCD, area of ABCD square will be equals to sum of all these areas plus, let's say, the area of PQRS is capital A. So A plus 3A, that is 4A plus 4A, 8A plus 4A, 12A plus 4A, that is 16A. So 16A plus capital A will be equals to area of this square. So 16A plus capital A will be equals to area of this square ABCD, and here the area of this square ABCD is side square, that is 20 square. So area ABCD is 20 square, that will be equals to 16 into A, and the value of A is 20. So this is 20 plus A. So finally we get the value of A from here. So capital A will be equals to 400 minus 16 into 20, that is 320. So we get 80 centimeter square. Hence the area of square PQRS is 80 centimeter square, which is option number 2. So option number 2 is the correct answer. Next question is, a circle is inscribed in a right angle triangle of perimeter 7 pi. Then the ratio of the numerical values of circumference of the circle to the area of the right angle triangle is. So first of all, we will draw a right angle triangle. Let's say this is a right angle triangle of side length A and B. This is a right angle triangle in which angle B is 90 degree, and a circle is inscribed in this triangle. So let's draw a circle. Let's say the radius of this circle, that is radius of n circle, is small r. Now the area of the right angle triangle is area of triangle ABC. We know that this area will be equals to R into S, where R is radius of n circle. This is radius of n circle, and small s is the semi perimeter of triangle, is semi perimeter of triangle. So the area of triangle is R into S, that is area of triangle we know that is half into base into height, half into base is small b and height is small a, that is equals to R into small s, R into small s. Here perimeter of the triangle is given, that is 7 pi, perimeter of triangle is 7 pi, that is given. So semi perimeter S will be 7 pi upon 2. Now rearranging these terms, let's take 2 in the LHS and 7 also in the LHS. So we get 2 by 7, that will be equals to R into pi divided by half of AB, divided by half of AB. Now what we need to find? We need to find the ratio of circumference to the area of triangle. So to make this R into pi as circumference, we multiply this by 2. So when we multiply RHS by 2, then we need to multiply LHS also by 2. So here 4 by 7 will be equals to 2 pi r, that is circumference of circle, divided by half of AB, that is area of right triangle, area of right triangle. So we need to find the ratio of circumference upon area of triangle. So that is 4 by 7, that is option number 1 is the correct answer. Next question is, it is known that the area of a cyclic quadrilateral is square root of s minus a into s minus b into s minus c into s minus d, where a, b, c, d are the sides of the triangle and s is the semi-perimeter of the triangle. If a circle can also be inscribed in the cyclic quadrilateral, then the area of this quadrilateral, we have to find the area of the cyclic quadrilateral. So first of all, we will draw a cyclic quadrilateral ABCD. Let's say this is a cyclic quadrilateral ABCD. And a circle is inscribed in this quadrilateral. So let's say this is the circle which is inscribed Alright, so we know that when a circle is inscribed in a quadrilateral, then the sum of opposite sides of this quadrilateral will be equal. That is, if the side length AB is small a, this is small b, this is small c and this is small d, then we can write that a plus c will be equals to b plus d. When a circle is inscribed in a cyclic quadrilateral or a quadrilateral, then the sum of opposite sides of this quadrilateral will be equal, that is a plus c will be equals to b plus d. Now the semi-perimeter of this quadrilateral S will be a plus b plus c plus d divided by 2, and here a plus c is b plus d, so we can put b plus d as a plus c, so we will get 2 times of a plus c divided by 2, that is a plus c. So what is this? A plus c, and a plus c is what? B plus d. So semi-perimeter S is equals to a plus c, that is equals to b plus d. Now we have to find the area of this cyclic quadrilateral. So area of this cyclic quadrilateral is, given formula is S minus a multiply by S minus b multiply by S minus c multiply S minus d whole square root. Now S is what? A plus c. Put the value of S as a plus c minus a. Again we can put the semi-perimeter as b plus d. So b plus d minus b multiply by again a plus c minus c and b plus d minus d whole square root. This is the area of this cyclic quadrilateral. On solving this, we get a cancel out each other, so we get c into d into a into b whole square root. On rearranging this, we get a b c d whole square root. This is the area of this cyclic quadrilateral, which is option number 2. So option number 2 is the correct answer. Let's see the next question. Two circles, both of radius a, touch each other and each of them touches internally a circle of radius 2a. Then the radius of the circle which touches all the 3 circles is. Let us draw the diagram first. So first of all, we have to draw a circle of radius 2a. So let this is a circle of radius 2a, and this is the center of the circle, and this radius is 2a. Now we have to draw 2 circles with radius a. So first circle will be like this, and second circle will be also of radius a, that is this. Let's say the point of intersection, this is P, which is the center of the bigger circle, and this is the center of circle, first circle. Let's say this is the center A, this is center B of second circle, and we have to draw another circle which touches all the 3 circles like this. Okay, so let's say the center of the circle is point C. So first we will join BC, AC, and let's say the radius of this circle is small r, and the radius of the circle is a, that is this part is a, PB is also a, and this is also a, and this will also be a. Now we have to find the radius of this circle, that is we have to find the value of r. So to find the value of r, join PC and extend it up to the circumference of the bigger circle. Let's say this point is D. Clearly the length CD will be the radius of the smaller circle, that is r. So we can find the length PC. So the length PC will be PD minus r, PD minus r, and the length PD is the radius of the bigger circle, that is 2a. So this is 2a minus r. This is length PC. Now in triangle ACP, we can easily identify that this angle is 90 degree. Okay, we know that this angle is 90 degrees, so we can apply Pythagoras theorem in triangle APC. So in triangle APC, or right triangle APC, we can write that AC square will be equals to AP square plus PC square. AC square will be equals to AP square plus PC square. Here the length AC is a plus r. So AC is a plus r whole square, that will be equals to AP square. AP square is a square, and PC square is 2a minus r, that is 2a minus r whole square. Now on simplifying this, we will get the value of r. So a plus r square is a square plus r square plus 2ar, that will be equals to a square plus 2a minus r whole square, that is 4a square plus r square minus 4ar. That a square cancel out, also r square and r square cancel out each other. 4ar plus 2ar, that is 6ar, will be equals to 4a square. So r will be equals to 4a square upon 6a. So on simplifying this, a cancelled out. So finally we get 2 by 3a. So the radius of this circle which touches all the three circles is 2 by 3a. That is option number 2 is the correct answer. Next question is, let D be a point on the side BC of a triangle ABC such that angle ADC is equals to angle BAC, and the length of side AC is 21 centimeter. Then the side of an equilateral triangle whose area is equal to the area of the rectangle with sides BC and DC. First of all, the area of the rectangle with sides BC and DC will be length into width, that is BC into DC. And area of equilateral triangle is root 3a square by 4, where a is the side length of the equilateral triangle. Now first of all, we will draw a triangle ABC. So let's say this is triangle ABC, in which there is a point on side length BC which is D, such that angle ADC is equals to angle BAC, this angle. Alright, so we can say that triangle CDA will be similar to triangle CAB, as angle C is common in both the triangles, and angle CDA is equals to angle CAB. So we can write that in triangle CDA and CAB, angle C is common. Angle C is common in both the triangles, and angle CDA is equals to angle CAB, which is given. So by AA similarity criteria, we can say that triangle CDA is similar to triangle CAB. and we know that if two triangles are similar, then the ratio of their corresponding sides are equal. So we can write CD upon AC is equals to AC upon CB, and so we can write AC square equals to CD into CB or BC, and we know that AC square is given as 21, so this is 21 square, that is 441. Now we have to find the side of an equilateral triangle whose area is equals to the area of the rectangle with sides BC and DC. So let's say side of equilateral triangle is small a. So its area will be root 3a square by 4, and that area is equals to the area of the rectangle with side length CD and BC. So that area will be equals to BC into my DC, and BC into my DC is equals to 441. So we can put here 441. So from here we can write a square is equals to 441 into 4 divided by root 3, or we can write a is equals to 21 into 2 divided by 3 raised to power 1 by 2 again square root. So that is equals to 42 into 3 raised to power minus 1 by 4, 3 raised to power 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 1 by 4. When we get this into numerator, then this will be 3 raised to power minus 1 by 4. Now again we can write 42 as 14 into 3. So this is 14 into 3 raised to power 1, 42 as 14 into 3, and again 3 raised to power minus 1 by 4. So finally we get 14 into 3 raised to power 1 into 3 raised to power minus 1 by 4. Then by laws of exponents we get 3 raised to power 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4. So 14 into 3 raised to power 3 by 4, that is option number 3rd is the correct answer. In the next question, it is given that triangle ABC has side lengths equal to A, B and C, and we have to find the length of the medians of the triangle formed by the medians of the triangle ABC. Means first of all we need to find the length of the medians of triangle ABC, then we have to draw a triangle with side length equal to the length of the medians of triangle ABC. That is, we have to find the length of the triangle formed by the medians of triangle ABC. So first of all we will draw a triangle ABC. Let's say this is a triangle ABC. In this triangle the side lengths are A, B and C, small a, small b and small c, and we need to find the length of the median of this triangle. So let's say D1 is the median of this triangle. Let's say this is point D and this is D1, small d1, that is the length of the median. So we can apply Apollonius theorem in this triangle. So by Apollonius theorem, we can say that b square plus c square will be equals to 2 times of d1 square, that is the length of the median, plus a by 2 whole square, So from here we can write d1 square will be equals to b square plus c square divided by 2 minus a square by 4, Similarly, the length of other medians will be, the square of the length of other medians will be, d2 square will be c square plus a square divided by 2 minus b square by 4, and third median square will be a square plus b square divided by 2 minus c square by 4. Let's say this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2 and this is equation number 3. Now we have to draw a triangle with side length d1, d2 and d3. Let's say this is another triangle whose side lengths we have to find, whose length of medians we need to find. So let's say this is triangle PQR, and in this triangle this is d1, this is d2, that is the median's length, and this is d3. Let's say M1 is the median of this triangle. M1 is the median of this triangle, and we need to find the length of the medians of this triangle, that is M1, M2 and M3. So first of all, we will find the length M1. So again, applying Apollonius theorem in this triangle. So again, by Apollonius theorem, again we can write d1 square plus d2 square, d1 square plus d2 square, that will be equals to 2 times of m1 square plus d3 by 2 whole square, d3 by 2 whole square. So from here we can write m1 square will be equals to d1 square plus d2 square by 2 minus d3 square by 4, minus d3 square by 4. Let's say this is equation number 4. Now on substituting the values of d1, d2 and d3 from equation 1, 2 and 3 in equation 4 by, so we can write from equation first, second, third and fourth, first, second, third and fourth. When we substitute these values in equation number 4, we get m1 is equals to 3 by 4 of c. m1 is equals to 3 by 4 c. So length of median of this triangle is 3 by 4 c. Similarly, other median will be 3 by 4 of b, and third median will be 3 by 4 of A. So option number 3rd is the correct answer. Option number 3rd is correct answer. Okay, in the next question, it is given that x plus 1 raised to power 4 is divided by x minus 1 whole cube. Then we have to find the value of the remainder at x equals to 1. So here x plus 1 raised to power 4 is the dividend. So here dividend is x plus 1 raised to power 4, and the divisor is x minus 1 whole cube. Divisor is x minus 1 whole cube. Let the quotient be qx. Let quotient be qx. And the remainder. Now we know that in case of polynomials, the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. Here the degree of the divisor is 3. So the remainder is less than of degree 3. So we consider it as a degree 2 polynomial, that is, this is the remainder ax square plus bx plus c. Now by division algorithm we can write, by division algorithm we can write dividend equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Now here the dividend is x plus 1 raised to power 4. So it is x plus 1 raised to power 4, that will be equals to divisor into quotient. Divisor is x minus 1 whole cube into quotient, that is qx, plus remainder, that is ax square plus bx plus c. Now on putting x equals to 1, we get 1 plus 1 raised to power 4, that is 2 raised to power 4 16 is equals to 1 minus 1, that is 0 cube, 0, 0 into something, 0. So here put x equals to 1, that is a into 1 square 1 plus b plus c. So from this equation we get a plus b plus c equals to 16. So this is equation number first. Now we have to find the value of the remainder at x equals to 1. So at x equals to 1, remainder is ax square plus bx plus c. So at x equals to 1, remainder will be a into 1 square plus b of 1 plus c, that is a plus b plus c. This is our remainder at x equals to 1, and we know from equation first a plus b plus c is 16. So the remainder is 16 at x equals to 1. So option number 3rd is the correct answer. Option 3rd is the correct answer. Next question is, a circle passes through the vertices of a triangle ABC. If the vertices of the triangle are a minus 2 comma 5, b minus 2 comma minus 3 and c 2 comma minus 3, then we need to find the center of the circle. So first of all we will draw a circle. And a triangle ABC whose vertices lie on this circle. Let's say this is triangle ABC, and the coordinates of the vertices are given, that is A is minus 2 comma 5, vertex B is minus 2 comma minus 3, and the coordinates of C are 2 comma minus 3. And we have to find the center of the circle, that is, let's say this is center O of the circle whose coordinates are x comma y. So we can easily find that the radius OA will be equals to radius OB, that is OA and OB are the radius of the circle, so OA equals to OB. Similarly OB will be equals to OC, that is OA equals to OB equals to OC. Alright, so we can write here OA equals to OB, or we can write OA square is equals to OB square. Now using distance formula we can write the distance OA, or OA square will be x plus 2 square plus y minus 5 square, that will be equals to distance OB square, that is x plus 2 square plus y plus 3 square, y plus 3 square. Now here x plus 2 square cancel out each other, and finally we get, on solving this value, we get 16y equals to 16, that is y equals to 1. Now again we can write OB square equals to OC square, as both these are the radius. OB square equals to OC square, and the distance OB square, again using distance formula we can write x plus 2 square plus y plus 3 square, that will be equals to x minus 2 square plus y plus 3 square. So y plus 3 square cancel out each other, and finally we get x plus 2 square equals to x minus 2 square. On solving this we get 8x equals to 0, that is x equals to 0. So the value of x is 0 and the value of y is 1. So the center of the circle, that is O, will be x comma y, that is 0 comma 1, 0 comma 1. So this is the center of the circle, hence the option number 2nd is the correct answer. Next question is, if two dice are thrown together, the probability that the difference of the numbers appearing on them is a prime number. That is, if two dice are thrown together, we need to find the probability that the difference between the numbers appearing on dice will be a prime number. So first of all, we can easily identify that the minimum difference when two dice are thrown is minimum difference when two dice are thrown is 0, and maximum difference is is 6 minus 1, that is 5. So the prime numbers between 0 and 5 are, prime numbers between 0 and 5 will be 2, 3 and 5. Now we will consider cases for the prime number 2. So for prime number 2, possible cases are 1 and 3, similarly 3 and 1, and 2 comma 4, similarly 4 comma 2, that is on first dice the number is 2 and on second dice the number is 4. Similarly on first dice if the number is 4 and on the second dice the number is 2, the difference is 2. And more cases 3 comma 5, 5 comma 3, then 4 comma 6 and 6 comma 4. Now these are the total cases for the prime number 2, that is total number of 8 cases are there. Now again for prime number 3, the possible cases are 1 comma 4 and 4 comma 1, similarly 2 comma 5 and 5 comma 2, and at last 3 comma 6 and 6 comma 3. So for the prime number 3 there are total 6 cases, and at last for prime number 5, the possible cases are 1 comma 6, that the difference between the numbers is 5, 1 comma 6 and 6 comma 1, that is only 2 cases for prime number 2. So total number of cases are 8 plus 6 plus 2, so total cases are 16, 8 plus 6 plus 2, that is 16, total cases, that is 16, and total possible outcomes will be equals to 6 into 6, that is 36. So the required probability will be 16 upon 36, that is 4 by 9. So option number second is the correct answer. In the next question, we have given information in the form of a data, and we need to find the unknown frequencies f1 and f2, where the sum of the frequencies is given as 120. So first of all, what we will do, we will make table for frequency distribution. So this information is given, that is class interval, that is 0 to 20, 20 to 40, then 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and at last 80 to 100. And the given frequencies are, let's say frequency Fi 17, then F1, then 32, F2, and last 19. After that we write class mark for these class intervals, that is for 0 to 20 class mark is 10. Similarly for this class interval the class mark is 30, then 50, 70 and 90. Here sigma Fi is given, that is 120, and at last we will find the value Fi xi or xi Fi, that is 170, 30 F1, 32 into 5, that is 160, that is 1600, 70 F2, and 19, 9, 171, 1710. So here this sigma Fi xi is equals to 3480 plus 30 F1 plus 70 F2 plus 30 F1 plus 70 F2. Now the sum of the frequencies can also be written as 17 plus 32 plus 19 plus F1 plus F2, that is 68 plus F1 plus F2, and the sum is given as 120. So from here we can write F1 plus F2 equals to 120 minus 68, that is 52. So this is our equation number first. In the next, we have given the mean here is 50. So we know that mean is equals to x bar, which is equals to sigma fi xi divided by sigma fi. Here sigma fi xi is 3480 plus 30 f1 plus 70 f2. So 3480 plus 30 f1 plus 70 f2 divided by sigma fi, that is 120, it is given. So this mean x bar is 50, so that expression is equals to 50. Finally, on simplifying this, we get 3f1 plus 7f2 is equals to 252. Let's say this is equation number second. So on simplifying equation 1 and 2, on solving or simplifying equation 1 and 2, we get f1 equals to 28 and f2 equals to 24, and we have to find the unknown frequencies f and f2, which is 28 and 24, that is option number first. So option first is the correct answer.